The stars were quiet above the battle zone. Wreckage floated slowly through space, lit only by the fading lights of destroyed ships. The war between the humans and the Zalorith kingdom had reached its peak, and no one expected survivors in that part of space. Among the broken metal and silent explosions, a small escape pod drifted. Its outer shell was cracked, smoke leaking from the sides. Inside the pod, barely breathing, lay Princess Thalara of Zalorith. Her armor was torn, her crown gone, and her memory fading fast. The last thing she remembered was her ship taking a direct hit and alarms, screaming. Then darkness. The pod drifted for days, then weeks, forgotten in the silence. Elsewhere, a human named Carter flew his old ship through the border zone. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't part of any government. He was a scavenger, someone who searched space for broken machines, old tech, and anything he could sell to survive. He lived alone, trusted no one, and never expected anything special. But that day, the scanner picked up something strange. "What is that?" Carter muttered, frowning as a weak signal blinked on his screen. He followed it and found the escape. Pod, nearly out of power. No way, someone's still alive in there. He pulled it into his docking bay and opened the hatch carefully. Smoke poured out, and inside he saw her, an alien woman, unconscious, skin pale blue with strange markings. On her cheeks, she wasn't moving, but she was breathing. Barely. Carter hesitated. Most people would have sold her to the nearest trader. Alien royalty, if that's what she was, came with high risks and high prices. But something in him said no. Something told him to help her. He carried her to the med bay and began to treat her wounds. Days passed, the woman didn't wake. Carter stayed close, changing her bandages, checking her vitals, and even reading old stories out loud, hoping she could hear him finally after 4 long days. Her eyes opened. They were sharp, glowing softly with confusion and fear. She sat up quickly, breathing fast. "Hey, Easy," Carter said, holding up his hands. "You're safe. I found you in a pod, do you? Do you remember anything?" The alien woman looked around, then at him. Her mouth opened, but no words came. She touched her head and winced. "You hit it pretty hard," Carter said. "Memory loss, maybe. Trauma, I can't tell." She pointed at herself slowly. Who am I?" Her voice was soft, almost like music, but filled with pain. "I don't know," Carter admitted. "You didn't have any ID on you. No name. I've been calling you Lara. It seemed to fit." She repeated the name to herself. Lara. Carter smiled. "Yeah. Welcome back, Lara." Over the next few weeks, Lara began to recover. She was stronger than any human Carter had ever met. Even without her full memory, her movements were sharp and trained like a warrior. She learned how to use tools quickly, fixed parts of Carter's ship better than he could, and picked up English fast. She still didn't know who she was, but she didn't seem scared anymore. Carter showed her how to pilot the ship, how to scan for salvage, and how to deal with trouble. They visited old ruins, avoided patrols, and saved a few stranded miners along the way. Together they became a team. One night, as they sat watching the stars from the cockpit, Lara spoke. "I feel like I used to fight," she said, her eyes on the stars. "I feel like I was important. Maybe a soldier or a leader." Carter offered. She looked at him. "I don't know, maybe do you think I'll ever remember?" "Maybe," Carter said, "but even if you don't, you're still you. You're Lara. And you've saved my life more than once now." She smiled for the first time. "You saved me first." They shared a quiet moment. The stars kept shining. The war felt far away. But deep in the heart of Zalorith, the alien king sat on his throne, holding a broken royal crest. Every day he stared at the stars and wondered if his daughter was truly gone. He refused to hold a funeral. He refused to name a new heir. Hope burned in his chest, even when everyone told him it was foolish. Across the galaxy, his daughter was alive, and she wasn't alone anymore. Weeks turned into months. Lara and Carter traveled together across forgotten edges of space. They didn't talk about the past often. Lara still couldn't remember who she really was, but she didn't feel lost anymore. Carter gave her a purpose. Together, they helped damage ships, traded food with poor colonies, and even rescued a family trapped in a radiation storm. Lara had changed. Her wounds had healed, but something deeper had also grown stronger, her instincts. Sometimes, in the middle of a mission or during a fight, she moved like she had done it 1,000 times before. Her body remembered what her mind had forgotten. One night, as they landed on a small trade station, Lara walked ahead while Carter followed. People turned and stared. They weren't used to seeing aliens and humans walking side by side, especially not ones who looked like warriors. A group of smugglers stepped forward, blocking their path. "You two don't belong here," one of them said. "Leave the alien and go." "Human?" Lara's eyes narrowed. "He stays with me," the smugglers laughed. "She speaks like she's in charge." Carter sighed. "She is." Before the smugglers could act, Lara moved. Fast. Her foot slammed into the nearest one's chest, sending him flying. She dodged another man's swing, twisted his arm, and dropped him to the floor. Carter didn't even need to draw his weapon. Lara had already ended it. As the station guards came running, the smugglers ran off, bruised and scared. One of the guards stared at Lara, confused. "What are you?" he whispered. Lara turned and walked away without answering. Back on their ship, Carter looked at her. "You were incredible. Again." Lara sat quietly. "Why do they always look at me like that?" "Because you're not like them," Carter said. "You're not like anyone. You're powerful, skilled, self. And something tells me you were trained for more than just surviving." Lara leaned back. "I keep having dreams. Battles, ships, a huge hall with bright walls. I'm standing there and people are bowing." "Sounds royal," Carter joked. Lara didn't smile. "Maybe I was." The next day, they received a message from a trader who owed Carter a favor. He had found something strange in an old bounty database, an image of a missing alien princess. The photo was blurry, but the face was almost the same as Lara's. Carter showed her the image. "This is you." Lara stared at it. The name under the photo read, "Princess Thalara of Zalareth missing, presumed dead." Her hand shook. She remembered that name. It felt like a storm hit her mind. Memories flashed: her father, her people, the explosion, the pain. "Remember," she whispered. "I was in a battle. I led a squad. Someone betrayed us. Our own ships turned on me. They wanted me gone." Carter nodded. "And you survived. Barely." Lara looked up. "I'm not just anyone. I'm a princess." "You were a princess," Carter said softly. "Now you're free." Lara stood. "No, I have to go back. My people think I'm dead. My father thinks I'm gone." "That stand? Are you sure?" Carter asked. "You've changed. What if they don't accept you?" "Then they'll see who I've become," she said. "And what about me?" Lara looked into his eyes. "I want you with me. If you're willing." Carter didn't hesitate. "Then I'm in." They began planning. The capital of Zalareth was deep in protected space, guarded by massive defense fields. Humans were not welcome. But Lara had the codes from her past still buried in her memories. She used them to plot a hidden route. It would be dangerous, but it would work. As they prepared their ship, Carter checked their supplies. "This isn't just a return trip. It's a statement. They'll see you as a threat." "Then let them," Lara replied. "I'm not the girl they lost. I'm someone stronger now." The next morning, their ship lifted off the trade station and jumped into hyperspace. Stars stretched around them. The journey would take days. During the flight, Carter watched her train with a practice blade. She moved like a commander, graceful and deadly. He knew she wasn't his responsibility anymore. She had become a force on her own, but she still smiled when he brought her food. She still listened when he shared old human songs. Whatever she was before, she had grown with him. And deep inside the royal palace of Zalareth, the alien king still sat on his throne. He held his daughter's crest close. Every night he whispered her name and hoped soon he would get an answer, and it would come with a human by her side. The ship moved quietly through the hidden route Lara had chosen. Around them, space looked calm, but Carter knew danger could appear at any moment. They were flying through restricted zones, close to military patrols, and entering space where humans were not welcome. Lara sat in silence, eyes fixed on the star map. She was remembering more now, faces of her people, the halls of the palace, and her father's voice. The betrayal still burned in her chest. Someone inside the kingdom had tried to kill her. They wanted her out of the way, maybe even wanted the throne for themselves. Carter watched her from the side. She looked calm, but he could feel the storm inside her. She wasn't just a lost princess anymore. She was returning with fire in her heart. "We'll be near the outer wall in 2 hours," Carter said. Lara nodded. "We'll need to move fast once we reach it. The codes I remember might still work, but if they don't, they'll shoot us down." Carter smiled slightly. "So just another regular day." Lara gave a small laugh, the first in days. "Thank you for coming with me." "You don't have to thank me," Carter said.
Out.
"You're not alone." 2 hours later, they dropped out of hyperspace and faced the outer defense grid of Zalareth. It was massive rings of satellites, gun platforms, and shield towers. Any unknown ship would be destroyed in seconds. Lara sat at the console and began entering codes. Her fingers moved quickly, till the screen blinked red once, then turned green. "Access granted," a robotic voice said. The gate opened just enough for their small ship to slip through. Carter blinked. "I can't believe that worked." Lara kept her eyes forward. "I'm still the heir. They just don't know it yet." They moved toward the capital planet, but as they neared the surface, alarms started flashing. Enemy locks were coming online. Someone had noticed them, and someone didn't like it. "They're targeting us," Carter said. Lara stood. "Send out the royal call sign. It should stop them. And if it doesn't, then we fight." She activated the signal in old transmission code only the true royal bloodline could use. A symbol flashed in space, the crest of House Thalara. Everything went quiet, but only for a moment. A voice came over the comms. "Identify yourself. This is a restricted zone. Human ship. Prepare to be boarded." Lara stepped in front of the camera. "I am Princess Thalara, daughter of King Zel, rightful heir of Zalareth. I demand audience with the royal court." There was silence on the other end, then confusion, whispers, finally, a response. "Stand by." Their ship was surrounded by royal fighters. Instead of attacking, they guided the ship toward the palace landing platform. When they landed, Lara stood tall. She wore a simple black outfit, nothing royal, but her presence was strong. Carter stood beside her, calm and ready. They stepped out of the ship, and dozens of royal guards pointed weapons at them. Lara didn't flinch. "I am who I say I am," she said. "You will take me to the king." A royal officer stepped forward, eyes wide. "It can't be." "The princess? You were dead?" Lara interrupted. "I lived, and now I'm home." They were taken through the palace, past high walls, glowing lights, and familiar halls. Lara remembered every step. Carter walked behind her, eyes watching everything. They reached the throne room. The alien king sat on a high seat made of shining crystal. His once strong face looked older now, tired from years of loss. He stared at Lara for a long time. His hands shook. "It's not possible," he said. Lara stepped forward and placed her hand on a scanner near the throne. It lit up instantly. A soft sound filled the room, one only the royal family could hear. "It is me," Lara said. "Your daughter." The king stood, slowly, eyes wet. He walked toward her, unsure, afraid it was a trick. But when he reached out and touched her face, he knew. "You came back," he whispered. "You survived." Lara nodded. "Because of him," she said, pointing at Carter. The guards tensed. A human in the throne room? Unheard of? But the king raised a hand. "You helped her?" he asked Carter. Carter nodded. "She helped me too." The king looked at Lara again.
Uh,
Why did you return? Lara took a deep breath.
Havoc.
Because there's still a traitor in this court. Someone tried to kill me. Someone betrayed the royal fleet, and I came back to stop them. The room fell silent. The king's eyes grew hard. Then we will find them, together. But not everyone in the room looked pleased. In the shadows, a figure turned and walked away unseen. Someone who thought the princess was gone forever, and now they would have to finish the job. The news of Princess Thalara's return spread fast across the capital. Some celebrated. Others were confused or suspicious. After all, she had returned with a human beside her. And not just any human, but one who walked into the palace without. Fear Carter stayed close, but quiet. He knew he was being watched. Some aliens stared at him with hatred. Others with curiosity. He didn't care. His only concern was Lara's safety. And right now, the palace felt like a nest of vipers. Lara met with the royal advisors in a tall, round chamber filled with old statues and glowing maps. She stood in the center, surrounded by men and women who had once served under her. "We're declared dead," one of them said coldly. "Your return is unexpected." Lara met his eyes. "I was betrayed during battle. Someone gave the enemy my location. They wanted me gone. And your proof?" Lara raised her hand and tapped into the palace's memory table. She pulled fragments from her mind flashes of the battle. Her damaged ship, the escape pod, and the symbol of the fleet that fired on her. The table recorded it and showed the room. One of the advisors stepped back, alarmed. "That's a royal ship. One that should have been on your side." Lara nodded. "Someone used it against me. Why come now?" Another voice asked. "Why bring a human with you?" "Because I owe him my life," Lara said. "And because he saw me not as a princess or a weapon, but as a person." Carter, standing at the back, gave a small nod. The king raised a hand. "The court will investigate. But for now, my daughter has returned, and she is under my protection." Later that night, Lara walked through the palace garden with Carter. Soft lights glowed under the trees. The air smelled of strange flowers. "They don't trust me," she said. "Give them time," Carter answered. "Some won't," she added. "They don't like you. They think you changed me." "Did I?" Lara smiled faintly. "A little." They walked in silence until Carter said, "Someone inside tried to kill you, and now you're here in their hands." Lara's eyes narrowed. "I'm not scared. I want them to know I'm alive. Let them feel the fear." Suddenly, a small explosion echoed across the garden. Guards rushed forward. A message had appeared burned into the wall. "Leave now or die again." Carter grabbed Lara's arm. "We need to be careful." The king ordered tighter security. Only trusted guards were allowed near Lara, but no one knew who the enemy was. The next day, Lara requested access to old war records. She wanted to trace back every ship in her fleet from the day of the betrayal. As she studied the files, Carter helped her cross-check the data. Hours passed, then Carter paused. "Look at this file. This ship, ... It left formation 5 minutes before you were attacked. No damage reported, no communication logs." Lara looked at the name. "Commander Vark." Carter frowned. "Wasn't he the one who asked you to change position that day?" Lara's hands tightened into fists. "Yes. He said he detected enemy movement, but it was a trap. He reported it to the king, who called a private meeting." "Vark is still in charge of a fleet," the king said. "If he truly betrayed you, this is dangerous." "We need to confront him," Lara said. "Not here," the king replied. "He's returning in 2 days for a defense summit. We'll catch him then." But someone had been listening. That night, as Carter returned to his room, he sensed something wrong. The door was slightly open. He reached for his blaster. A figure rushed out from the shadows. The attacker wore black armor, face hidden. Carter dodged the first strike and fought back hard. The attacker was fast, skilled, but Carter was stronger. Then he looked. He managed to knock the attacker down, but not before taking a deep cut on his arm. The guards arrived too late. The attacker escaped into the halls. Lara rushed to Carter's side. "You're hurt. I'll live," he said. "They wanted to silence me before the summit." The king tightened security once more. "We have a snake in our walls," he said, "and it's striking faster than we expected." Lara looked at Carter's wound, then at the throne. "They think they can scare us," she said, "but I'm not running. I will face them. And this time, they'll see who I've become." The day of the defense summit arrived. The grand hall of the Zalareth Palace filled with leaders, commanders, and diplomats from many worlds. The air was tense. Everyone knew the stakes were high. Trust was fragile, and danger lurked behind polite words. Lara stood beside her father, the alien king, and Carter, her human protector. Their presence together was a sign, a statement that things were changing in the kingdom. The summit began with formal greetings and speeches. Commanders spoke of peace, security, and threats from outside enemies. But beneath the surface, old rivalries simmered. Commander Vark arrived late, his face hard and cold. He gave a curt nod to the king, but avoided looking at Lara or Carter. "Princess," Vark said with a sneer, "it's surprising to see you here. I thought you were dead." Lara met his gaze steadily. "I'm alive, and I'm here to stop the traitors." The room murmured. Some whispered support, others showed concern. As talks continued, Carter kept a close watch on Vark. Something felt wrong. He noticed subtle signs: the way Vark's guards shifted nervously, the quiet whispers behind closed doors. Suddenly the lights flickered. Alarms sounded, the doors sealed shut. "Attack!" Someone shouted. Armed soldiers burst in, but they were disguised in palace uniforms. The summit was under siege. Lara single quotes as heart pounded. "Carter, protect the king." Carter drew his blaster and moved fast. He covered the king while Lara stood in front, ready to fight. The attackers were well trained. They knew the palace layout and had planned carefully. But Lara's strength and Carter's skills turned the tide. Together, they fought through waves of enemies. Amid the chaos, Lara saw Vark moving toward the king with a hidden blade. She rushed forward, tackling him to the ground. "Why?" she demanded. "Why betray your own people?" Vark snarled. "Power belongs to the strong. You are weak, princess. Now that's why you should have died." Lara held him down. "Not anymore." Carter secured the king, who nodded at them with gratitude. The palace guards regained control, capturing the attackers. The king addressed the summit, his voice firm. This was an attack from within, a reminder that enemies do not always come from outside, but we are united now. He looked at Lara and Carter. "My daughter returned not just with life, but with loyalty and strength. And this human by her side is a symbol of a new era." Some leaders nodded. Others still looked uncertain. Later, Lara stood on a balcony overlooking the city. Carter joined her. "You did it," he said quietly. "We did it," she corrected. Carter smiled. "Do you think they will accept this change?" Lara looked out into the night sky. "Change is hard, but necessary. I'm ready to lead with you beside me." Carter took her hand. "Always." The alien king watched from his chambers, proud yet aware of the challenges ahead. His daughter had returned. The kingdom was shaken but alive. And with humans and Zalareth working together, a new future was possible. The days after the attack were tense but hopeful. The palace buzzed with activity as the royal guards searched for any remaining enemies. Lara and Carter stayed close to the king, helping with peace talks and strengthening defenses. The alien king called a council meeting. "The betrayal has shown us our weakness," he said, "but it has also shown us our strength. My daughter survived, and with her came an unexpected ally: humans." Some council members frowned, but the king continued. "Humans have proven their loyalty. They fought with us, saved lives. It is time to build a new alliance." Lara looked at Carter, then back to the council. "Our enemies underestimated us. They thought a princess lost to war would weaken Zalareth. Instead, it has made us stronger." Carter nodded. "Trust is not given easily. but it grows through actions. The council agreed to send envoys to Earth to discuss a formal alliance. Many were nervous, but the king believed it was the way forward. One evening, Lara and Carter walked through the palace gardens. The stars shone bright, and a soft breeze moved the leaves. "Do you ever regret coming back?" Carter asked. Lara shook her head. "No. I found my purpose again." "And you?" Carter smiled. "I found more than I expected. A new home, a new family." They stopped by a small fountain. Lara reached out, touching the water's smooth surface. "There is still much to do," she said. "The war's not over, but we will face it together." Suddenly, a messenger arrived with urgent news. A nearby system was under attack by unknown forces. The king immediately prepared the fleet. Lara and Carter joined the command center. Maps and data screens showed ships falling one by one. "We need to act fast," Lara said. "Our enemies want to take advantage of our recent troubles." Carter plotted a course. "We'll strike their supply lines first, cut off their fuel and weapons." The fleet moved out under Lara's command, with Carter coordinating the human support ships. The battle was fierce. Alien and human pilots fought side by side using combined tactics. Carter's experience with guerrilla warfare helped surprise. The enemy Lara led the front lines, her ships swift and deadly. She coordinated attacks, protected weaker ships, and inspired her forces. After hours of fighting, the enemy retreated. The nearby system was safe for now. Back on the capital, celebrations were quiet but sincere. The victory brought hope. The king addressed his people. "Today we showed that unity is our greatest weapon. Together, Zalarethan humans can face any threat." Lara stood beside him, proud and determined. Carter's hand found hers in the crowd. As peace talks continued, old prejudices began to fade. More aliens welcomed humans. Humans learned the ways of XL or ITH. Lara and Carter's partnership became a symbol of a new era, one of trust, strength, and hope. The alien king finally smiled, knowing his daughter's return was more than a miracle. It was the beginning of a future where two worlds stood united.